Hey, good morning, my friends. I'm Live Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Welcome to Wednesday morning. Welcome to the MLive Morning Weather Update. Again, I always consider weather interesting, but an interesting thing today is that the U.S. model called the GFS showed yesterday the storm system sliding to the southeast mostly of lower Michigan, and the European, which we generally consider the most accurate, uh, kept the snow in the southern part of the state. Well, European coming in line with the GFS, which would be one of the first times the GFS has beat the European. And why would that be? These are different storm systems. They're coming from a different region at a different speed. They're coming off the coast of California. Maybe the US model handles those kind better. All right, let's get to it. And we're going to talk about a little bit of a mess today, but not travel problems. We're going to talk about the next storm system missing most of us, I guess I should say, because Ann Arbor, Detroit area, the eastern part of the thumb, you'll probably get 1 to 3 inches of snow out of this. And yeah, you're someone too, right? It doesn't miss us all. And then we're going to talk about what I'm writing about is kind of a bizarre long length warming trend or stretch of warm weather for this time of the year. Warmer than normal, but it's going to get to the point where we'd probably be able to safely call it warm for this time of the year. All right, so radar shows spotty showers around the southwest part of lower Michigan. Hey, good morning, Susan Pendergrass from Holland, and good morning, Tracy Gasparat from Oxford, and Sandra Darby. Good morning, Michelle Rohr from Lewiston. So these showers, it's going to be quite mild again today. Remember, our normal high temperature, average high temperature is still declining, now down to about 30 to 32 degrees. So when we talk 40, we're talking 10 degrees warmer than normal, which is significantly warmer than normal. So what's the radar forecast look like for this? Looks like showers through most of lower Michigan until it moves toward the northeast, and then it could be in the form of some snow. So this is noontime today and 2 in the afternoon. So Alpena to Mayo to Gaylord, Lewiston, and Michelle and Lewiston, you get some snow showers developing this afternoon for a couple of hours. Maybe you get an inch. Elsewhere, southern lower Michigan, we get a few off and on rain showers, and that is about it. And then as we go into tomorrow, the high resolution rapid refresh shows that storm into Detroit and Ann Arbor area, but during the middle of the day, it's just going to be plain too warm for anything that would accumulate. We have to get to the nighttime hours, and then the storm is sliding off toward the south and east. So we're just simply not going to have a whole lot of that snowfall for today. You know, an inch up in the UP. That's about it. All right, now we will look at the next storm system. That's Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. It's a rain in southeast lower. It's a miss probably for Grand Rapids, maybe Saginaw, maybe Mount Pleasant. Now the precipitation shield looks like it stays to the south and east of those areas. Tim Lee, any snow for Oscoda, Mark? You might get in on the inch this afternoon. Otherwise, it's going to be a while. It's in 7 to 10 days, maybe. All right, so first we're looking at the European, which generally we consider the best model. Now, yesterday it brought a swath of what looked like, if it fell during the night, I talked about this would be a 3 to 6 inch snow, emphasis on the 3, not on the 6. If it fell during the night, it's a little bit faster. It falls mostly in the afternoon tomorrow now. That keeps it rain. So this is tomorrow afternoon, 5 o'clock. 4 o'clock. And then this is tomorrow evening. And then this is getting toward 7 in the evening as the snow starts to mix in there and kind of rotate around to close to the Ann Arbor area, but more the Detroit area, Oakland County, and the thumb for Thursday night. And then by Friday morning, 7 a.m., It's virtually done. You might find some slick roads in the thumb and around the northeast side of Detroit. And then as we go into the weekend, we're done. We could see sunshine on Saturday. That is the other thing. Remember, although our models know if there's snow on the ground, there isn't. And so sunshine will probably boost the actual temperature 5 degrees more than what the models forecast at this time of the year. And so no snow, I would say, lends me to think that when you see 40, it'll be 45. When you see 45, it'll be 50. And that goes into next week as well. Okay, so that's the European. It's kind of a miss with 1 to 3 inches. I'll show you the accumulations here in just a bit. Scott Allen, how much for Genesee? Probably not much. Probably nothing. Okay, so we go through the day today with the spotty showers. Then we go to tomorrow afternoon and evening. And look, the European actually looks almost exact to the US model. This would typically have a band of snow on the backside of it. A typical cold air in January would put this low over Cleveland and would put a heavy snow band through southeast lower Michigan, far southeast, and northern Ohio. But it's coming during the day and it's just too warm. You can't have a snowstorm at 35, 36 degrees. Now we get to tomorrow evening and same deal, a couple of hours of wraparound snow into the thumb. This is Friday morning early and then off. And then we go to Saturday. And what I wanted to show you is we go to Sunday, the winds turn around to the southwest, and you see all those pressure lines. That's a southwest wind. Now we're into Monday, and that's a steady southwest wind. So we're talking 3 to 4 days from late Saturday into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of southwesterly winds. That builds the temperature 5 degrees each day. How much snowfall out of this thing? Not much. This is the Europeans' output. Let's call it a 1 to 3 inch snow. And the 3 inches would probably have to be right on the border of the thumb. And now let's look at temperatures. So, you know, in days past, I always got the question, living here in the Great Lakes all my life, hey, are we going to get a January thaw? What it used to be was we'd have highs in the 20s and pretty cold for 7 to 10 days. Then we'd get a day or two that would hit 33, 34, 37 degrees for a day or two and get the snow off of the driveway and off the sidewalk and chip it off. This January thaw, we're already in it and we're not in the peak of it. And we're talking probably, we may have 10 days or more this January above the freezing mark in a lot of things. This weather makes me unsure when I should prune my grapevines. Grapes are pretty durable. I always wait till March. Okay, so high temperature forecast. Let's get into it and show you. So today, 40 to 45 in the southern half of the state. Mid to upper 30s, Traverse City, and mid 30s in the UP. That's warm. Tomorrow, 42 in Detroit, 42 in Ann Arbor, 39 in Flint. Even if some precipitation makes it into the southeast, it's going to be hard to stick. It really will be. Friday, high temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s, but again, without snow on the ground and maybe some sun coming back, it may feel like 35 to 40. Saturday, I think this is probably a little too cold from this model. 32 in Detroit, 33 in Ann Arbor, 35 in Grand Rapids. This is probably 40 in Grand Rapids on Saturday. Then Sunday, temperatures in the 40s all the way to the Mackinac Bridge. Monday in the 40s. We're going to call it 45-ish to 50 for the southern half of the state. Tuesday, 47 to 52 in a lot of places. Wednesday in the 40s. And let's see. Then we're getting out toward the end of the run. Thursday of next week, 34. Friday of next week, 34, and really no cold air anywhere in sight. Let's keep continuing to search for winter. I know 50% of you love the fact that winter is definitely on hold, and 50% of you hate the fact. The fact I like about weather is we can't do anything about it yet, fortunately, and all I have to do is tell you what's going to happen. I don't have to worry about making the decisions whether it should be warm or cold. So 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, January 15th to the 19th. That's next week. It's obviously bizarrely warm. And note, what we call the atmospheric river, which is this big string of storms coming into the West Coast, is going to continue. So we can have some half-inch moisture systems. And eventually, if we ooze down to 32-ish for a high and the right timing, one of these a week or two out could be a wet snow, heavy wet snow. 8 to 14 day into January 23rd, still warmer than normal. And we don't get our new 3 to 4 week outlook, which takes us to February 3rd. We don't get the new one until Friday afternoon. But I just want to remind you that the Weather Service continues to think it will continue to be warmer than normal as we go out into the future. Winter on hold, that's the big headline. Sneaking through. One thing we know is that the cold air will likely come back. Winter is not done, likely. We live in kind of changing, bizarre weather times, so we don't know just what winter. We'll never have much winter, and if you don't have much winter in January, you're pacing yourself toward that kind of thing. But I tend to think that cold air is going to come back at least for some time, at least for a week or two, and we'll get into kind of a snowy pattern if we stay in this wet pattern. But for now, it's not into the first week of February. So there you go. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. We got a lot of folks with us, still over 250. Thank you for joining me. Please hit the share button. And this is the way we do it on MLive every morning. Grab your cup of coffee and we talk a whole lot about weather. And I try to answer some questions. All right, Lori Henry. When we get snow, it's going to be crazy snow. So don't put away your shovels away yet. That's always the thought that it balances out. It doesn't have to. I wouldn't disagree with you that if we get enough cold air and we're in this storm track, we could get a crazy snow. But the fact is, we're chopping off a day of winter every day as we go. And we know that we're going to chop off probably about 10 days of winter, gets us to the end of January. And then we also know that in early February, even though February is fully a winter month, probably our coldest month on average because the ice builds on the Great Lakes, except for probably this year, the sun is starting to gain power. The average high temperature is starting to go up in early February. And that means when you get 32 and some sunshine in mid-February, the skin feels warmer in the car and warmer outside. Lenny Macomb Yard, think it will stick to cement in the Detroit area. Probably the last half inch or inch will be cold enough. So because the ground will be warm, but as soon as it drops below 32, there's enough cold in the ground that it will bring it down to cold. Will Snowfest be able to make snow soon, Nancy Engel? No, not soon. It certainly will not. Effect on the frost, Pamela Todorov. I think you might mean drought, I'm guessing. You know, we should get into moisture. So we should have some improvement in the subsoil moisture as we go into spring. Yes, okay, drought. Yes, okay. Yeah, no problem, Lenny. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. You've liked the Facebook page. Just make sure you continue to go to the MLive Facebook page, read a couple of stories. Maybe you're not a newsie, maybe you're more of a weather enthusiast, but read a couple of stories, go to it. Then Facebook thinks you're interested in the MLive page. Then Facebook sends you notifications when I'm live. We don't control that at MLive, and we get a lot of comments about, I'm not seeing your notifications anymore. That's because you just didn't have time. You kind of blew us off for a couple of days, and then Facebook thinks you're short attention span people, and you're not interested anymore. So that's the problem that we at MLive and me face in allowing Facebook to be our conveyor of our information, which we have to do because the numbers of people of you on Facebook are so large. Sorry. I'm Live Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Have yourselves a great Wednesday.